Harry Caray and Steve Stone as we go down to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0. The Cubs are trailing. To give you an idea of the crowd here, a big one must be in excess of 40,000. Cincinnati defeated Montreal. Oh, no. Yeah, they shut them out. Shut out Montreal 2-0. That Cincinnati ball club hanging in there. They're only 5.5 out and playing fine baseball. Jean Malnati Miller with her husband here.
Third baseman, Jeff Hamilton.
She's the owner of the famous Malnatis.
Hamilton thought he might get here in September if he was lucky. He never envisioned himself playing in the middle of the season in Dodger Stadium. He says it's very exciting to him. He's got to keep telling himself to hit the ball up the middle into right field. He has a tendency to try to pull everything.
Big Jeff Hamilton. The first pitch goes all the way back to the screen.
That was a vicinity pitch. It was in the vicinity of home plate, but not too close.
I think he was aiming it for that Mike Brito, who's timing his pitches. There's a good fastball. Count even up. Boy, it's amazing, all these notes from people here because of the Cubs. Fouled it back. 1-2 the count. Stewart and Luann McCall from Phoenix are here. One and two to count. Fouled it back.
I saw Jody sitting inside. He wanted to tie up Jeff Hamilton up and in. Trout got the pitch there, and Hamilton fought it off.
He struck him out swinging.
Batting seventh, number 44.
You know, the television truck here is on the top tier on the 7th floor. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers here. Here's Landreau hitting 265. High pump foul. It'll be out of play. You know, they have various levels of parking here, so you park near to the tier that you're sitting in. And I think they have about space for about 18,000 cars or more. What a plant. I swear, you walk in here, you think it's a brand new ballpark, and it's about 25 years old. One out, nobody on. Landreau, the batter. There's a pitch a little bit low. A ball and a strike. Steve Trout. Ball fouled off. His leg rolls into fair territory. They're here from Highland Park. John Erfine in the group. One and two the count. Low and outside. Stephen Todd Kissack from Fountain Hills, Arizona, formerly of Rockford, are here.
Landreau said he's going to try to take Trout to left field.
So he takes him a line drive right to the second base. Landreau lined hard to Sandberg. 2 men are out.
Nice play by Rhino. That ball was hit right on the nose.
Number 21, center fielder, Reggie Williams.
Doug and Sue Sink from Barrington. Sweet. Lou Johnson. Remember him?
Yep.
He now works for the Dodgers. He played for the Cubs for a while, along with other clubs, wanting to be remembered to all his friends in the Chicago area.
Here's a look at Fernando, 11 complete games.
High pop foul out of play.
This young man's going to be a very good ball player. Reggie Williams has good instincts in the outfield, and Manny Mota, his hitting instructor, says although he's very powerful, he doesn't like to see him swinging for home runs yet. He says those will come. In batting practice, he was taking the ball consistently out of the park, but he wants him to be concerned with hitting the ball up the middle and hitting it right where it's pitched.
A ball and a strike. He swings and he misses. Boy, he can play that center field with anybody, this Reggie Williams. Made some fine plays. There's a drive right at save for the out. Williams line to save. At the end of 2, 1-0 Dodgers. A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is the Illinois State Lottery. Winning lotto numbers are now drawn twice a week on Wednesday and Saturday. So double your chances to win millions. Play Lotto. Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium. Look at them. They're still lined up outside. Lined up buying tickets to get in. And 2 innings are already have gone by. And everybody here leaves at the end of the 7th. So they're only going to see about 5 innings or less. Bill Russell.
Bill Russell's moved in at shortstop. Mike Marshall has come into the ball game in right field. Mariano Duncan had some ankle problems, and perhaps they're acting up again. Marshall yesterday took some cortisone shots in his back. He says he feels a whole lot better. And there's 2 colors of seats up in the left field bleachers, and the back section is the blue seats, and Marshall was hitting him up there in batting practice.
There you see him.
That's the second tier back up there, so he looked like his back was feeling just fine.
But it took a little illness on the part of Mariano Duncan to get him into the ballgame.
Yes.
Leading off for the toss, batting 7, number 11, third baseman.
Birthday greetings to Donald Bade in Scottsdale. Here's Say getting a nice hand from the California crowd in recognition of the fine years he had when he was a member of the Dodgers.
He's hit very well against Pena lifetime, 5 for 11. And he's hoping to keep it up, but Pena doesn't throw quite as hard. He now depends on that sinker and a slow breaking ball.
There's a pitch a little bit low. Margaret and Jim Moore from Mesa, formerly of Mundelein. Good customers in Mesa. The pitch is high. 2 balls, no strike. 1-0. Cubs trail. The Dodgers could have blown the game wide open the first inning. They had the bases loaded with nobody out. And they got only 1 run. Not because they did not hit the ball hard. There's a ground ball. Hamilton's got it. Throws to first for the out. The Penguin was ahead on the count, 2-0, but he grounded out.
Batting 8, number 12, shortstop, Sean Dunston.
Chuck Erbauer and his sister, formerly of Naperville, here with a barbershop group.
They could use a trim.
Here's the pitch. Dunston has had more hits against the Dodger pitching staff this year than any other member of the Cubs. He's had 12 out of 31. He's hit a ton against them. Not this time. A high pop foul being chased. And he makes the catch. Alex Trevino made a running catch of Dunston's foul ball. 2 out.
Batting 9, number 34, pitcher, Steve Trout.
2 men out.
Trevino came over from San Francisco for Candy Maldonado, and that's a trade that's really helped both clubs. Maldonado's been a devastating pinch hitter for the Giants, and with Mike Scioscia out of the lineup, Trevino's been invaluable for the Dodgers.
2 men out, nobody on. There's a base hit. Steve Trout singles to right. You know, Trout, that was his 7th hit. He was hitting 188. He's had the game-winning hit in 2 of his 3 victories. Vocalist Joyce Garrow of Chicago here. Jerry Mumphrey takes a pitch a little bit low. Mumphrey, his first time at bat, hit a hard line drive to straightaway center that Reggie Williams hauled down. Each team with 2 hits. There's a pitch low, ball 2.
Mumphrey hits the fastball very well, and left-handed he's much better than he is right-handed. He should get a good cut if Pena comes in 2-0.
There's a good fastball for a strike call. Pena, hard-throwing right-hander. He's permitted 1 home run this year. There's ball 3 low, inside.
Cubs' hottest hitter on deck, Matthews, has 5 home runs this road trip. It's been very productive for him.
Three and 1. There's a line drive, stabbed by Sax. Again, Mumphrey is robbed. Boy, he hit that ball right on the nose. So we go now into the bottom of the 3rd. Still 1-0 LA.
And now the Chicago Tribune's Tales from the Upper Deck.
Hey, how you doing? Me? I'm hungry. I've been reading these restaurant reviews here in the Trib's Friday section. Man, they got my growler going. You know, in fact, I think it's time we grabbed a bite at one of the city's premier establishments. That's right, Chez Wrigley. Come on, let me show you. Now, this here is your basic Wrigley hot dog. Perfect as a meal or as an après-innings snack, huh? Or perhaps the jumbo dog for your heartier appetite. Served open-faced. And, of course, my personal favorite, the Polish. Light yet robust with a decidedly continental accent. Garnished with nachos and cheese. Okay, so now we got lunch out of the way, we can concentrate on what's really important. Where are we going to go for dinner, huh? What do you think? Maybe Indian? French? Where?
Join Olympian Frank Shorter and many celebrities as they go the distance in the 10th annual WGN True Value Chicago Distance Classic, Sunday, July 13th. The 20K and 5K races benefit the Chicago Lung Association's camp for severely asthmatic children. Get your entry form at any True Value hardware store or call the Chicago Lung Association at Run 1900.
Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium. We go into the bottom of the 3rd with the pitcher Alejandro Pena leading it off. Boy, that Mumphrey, what tough luck he's hit into. And that hurt because Matthews would have been coming up with 2 men on base. Instead, Matthews will be leading off in the 4th.
And, Harry, they always say it evens out. If it does, Mumphrey's going to hit about 500 the second half of the year because the last 6 weeks, he's hit the ball as hard as anybody, but they keep going at people.
Yep. Oh, they keep making great plays. Here's Pena fouling the pitch off. Tim and Sue Canavan from Chicago here. Pena, pretty good hitting pitcher. Hasn't batted a whole lot this year yet because he hasn't played much. He's 0 for 5. 1-1 pitch. Again, Trout throws it back to the screen. And they applaud him every time he does that. They've announced that tonight's game is a sellout, and those people who are lined up waiting for tickets now can go home. There's a bouncing ball to Dunston. There's the peg. 1 away. And here's Mike Marshall be coming out.
And you know that Steve Trout's sinker is not working very well tonight. That's only the first ground ball that he's had. Everybody's been hitting the ball in the air or on the line. And he's got to get that sinker working to be effective.
Marshall, I first look at him in the series, hitting .262 for the year with 17 homers and 46 runs batted in. He's always hit well against the Cubs. He's had 1 homer against them this year, driven in 4 runs. Only 4 out of 17 at .235 average so far this season. During his career, he's hit .333 against them with 4 homers. 1 strike and nothing, 1 out and nobody on.
Anytime you have any back problems, you really can't get loose. You don't swing the right way, but he appears to be feeling pretty loose tonight.
There's a drive in the center field. Mumphrey waiting. Hit the ball hard, but right at him. You know, the Trout, there's only been
Second baseman, Steve Sax.
1 ball hit on the ground. They've all been line drives otherwise. Still, he's only trailing 1-0, and he's given up only 2 hits. Tommy Lasorda talking to Pena. There's a curve strike call. 2 out, nobody on. Beautiful evening. Arnie, when you get a chance, show this crowd, and then we can show them. This will be before, and then at the end of the 7th inning, we'll show them the after. Look at that, every seat taken. 1-2 the count. We'll see how many people leave at the end of the 7th inning. There's a smash headed for right field. Steve Sax singles to right. That's his 4th hit of the series and 9 times at bat.
He's happy because he hit a pretty good pitch. That was a changeup away from Steve Trout. But he says he usually goes away from Sax, and Sax is going to take it the opposite way, and that's exactly what he did. Just out of the reach of Ryan Sandberg, and now you've got a base running threat at first.
Steve Sax, who has swiped 21 bases.
He's another man you can pick off because he's an aggressive base runner. He's been thrown out 10 times.
Jim and Carol Mashoda, formerly of Elmwood Parker here. Two men are out. 1-0 the Dodgers lead. Ball game in the bottom of the 3rd. A little bit low. Let's pause here for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Bill Russell waiting. The throw to first. There's the throw, a wild throw. Watch where Sax is going to wind up. He's on his way to third. Let's see what he's going to do. He rounds third. He holds up. A two-base wild throw. Look at Trout. Look at Trout. They almost, if he'd have thrown a little sooner and thrown it well, good. Why, he might have had him. Sax was getting ready to break for second.
He would have picked him off, but the ball bounced in front of Leon Durham. And Moreland gets to the ball just in time. Sax is thinking about scoring.
I thought he was going to. So a throwing error. Now you got to think about Russell doing a lot of things, not only hitting, but bunting for a hit as he did before.
If Ronsay does not come in at third base, Russell's going to lay it down, and as we saw, it's tough to get him.
The pitch. A little bit outside. Ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Enos Cabell on deck.
He's got such good bat control. You see him choke up about 4 inches, and he consistently takes the ball to right field.
There's a strike call. Two balls and a strike. Bouncing ball up the middle. Nice play! The throw. He is out! A great play all the way around. How about that reach by Leon Durham? And what a magnificent play by Dunston. Spectacular all the way around, and the Dodgers don't score. And here comes Tommy Lasorda out to argue with Tom Hallion. We're going to show it to you in a hurry here. It looks like a base hit to center. Look where Dunston comes from. Off balance out of the hip pocket. Low throw. Watch Durham. He held on to the ball. Dwayne will be joining Steve here in a moment. This is Harry Caray from Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers are leading 1-0 at the end of 3.
I don't have to show you any stinking bushes.
Humphrey Bogart, the treasure of the Sierra Madre, Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Leading off for Chicago, left fielder.
Steve Stone along with Dewayne Staats to take you through the middle, and I think both pitchers are feeling lucky that it's just a 1-0 ball game.
Well, the Dodgers, anything they get out of Alejandro Pena, I think, Steve, they will take following the shoulder surgery we've been talking about all night.
Gary Matthews to lead off the top of the 4th. He singled in the 1st inning. And he ducks out of the way of a high, tight fastball. Let's take a look at Leon Durham on a play that ended the 3rd inning. Now, you'll notice that the ball is not in his glove when the runner gets to the bag, but a great acting job in Hollywood, and Leon convinces Tom Hallion that he indeed does have it. Not a bad way to get out of that 3rd inning.
Oh.
Tommy Lasorda came out to argue, and he had a legitimate complaint. 2-0 count, and Gary Matthews takes one down low. And Tommy's still yelling. That was a run the Dodgers were supposed to get, but didn't, and he's not very happy. Dave not upset. He didn't make the call, and he doesn't know why Tommy Lasorda's yelling at him.
He says, I can't understand you anyway.
Ball 4, he lost him. And we'll take another look at it and watch this angle. This will even point it out more clearly to you. Dunston does make a fine play. Now we'll slow it down for you. Watch what the ball does. It's not in his glove, but if he had a magnet on the back of his glove, he'd have had it. Oh, good job by the bull.
Durham looking up at him with those innocent eyes.
Who, me? I'd never do that.
Sure, the ball's in there.
Matthews was thrown out stealing in the 4th inning. And there's a good look at Fernando going to the All-Star game. Sandberg takes a fastball for a strike. He struck out swinging to end the 1st inning. Hitting .317 lifetime against the Dodgers. And I think you might see a hit and run. Average of Sandberg is sinking some, and Gene Michael might want him to concentrate to right field. That'll even the count at 1-1.
He continues to chase that pitch down and away. He's had a lot of trouble with that throughout this entire road trip.
Outfield straight away for Sandberg. They play him fairly deep. Another fastball for a strike, and the count's 1-2. Dr. Job, who did the surgery on Pena, said he's never seen a shoulder in worse condition than Alejandro Pena's. He was very surprised that he came back this soon, and surprised that that velocity at times has been timed up to 90 miles an hour. They didn't feel he'd ever throw higher than 86 again.
Before the surgery, he had been clocked as high as 97 and was consistently at that 93, 94 mark.
Goes the right side, but foul. Well, now he's had to find out how most of the pitchers in the major league live with that 85, 86 mile an hour fastball. A lot of them try to sink the ball, which is what Pena's trying to do now. He throws that slow breaking ball, and he's even toyed with a split finger fastball now and then, but he's just doing it on one pitch, basically. He's just spotted the curveball. He's throwing mostly sinkers. Mike Marshall in right field. Bill Russell started the game in right field. He moved to shortstop as Mariano Duncan left the ball game. He might have aggravated that ankle injury. We're not certain. Sandberg fouls it down to the right.
We heard that he was just under the weather a little bit, that he felt ill and left the ball game.
Maybe, could he catch hyperventilation?
It might be going around.
You never know. Keith Moreland on deck.
If you're going to catch that, you'd catch it out here, wouldn't you?
I guess so. Little tapper in front of the mound. Pena to second. Just barely get Gary Matthews at second base. A gamble by Pena, and he made a good throw.
See, both Russell and Sax wind up in the bag at second as Pena goes back to Sax. And they just do beat Matthews in.
Now you look at the numbers on Keith Moreland. He flied out to left field in the second inning. Hitting .305 lifetime against the Dodgers. He's 7 for 30 this year. And Moreland's hit .333 lifetime against Pena. Good lead by Sandberg, and they might want to test out Alex Trevino. He's been throwing the ball very well for the Dodgers. That was one of the raps on Trevino coming over here. They knew he could handle the pitchers well, and they knew he would swing a dependable bat. They didn't know how well he'd throw. And I think the Dodgers are surprised that he's been gunning him down with regularity at second base. Moreland takes one down. Outfield a couple steps in left center field for Keith. Runner going. There's the throw to second. It's low, and Sandberg in under the tag, and he's on his way to third base. That'll be an error on Trevino.
Sandberg in with his 11th steal of the year. And the error charged to Trevino. That's his 7th this year.
Joey Malfitano before the game told me that they've been working with Steve Sax on blocking the ball. He said he's been out here early trying to keep that ball from going into center field. And Joey Malfitano told me that this is the best club he's ever seen at allowing the ball to go into center field and allowing the base runner to go to third. He says it happens all the time, and it happened once again. So Sandberg at third, representing the tying run in this 1-0 game. Dodgers about hit the Cubs 3-2. Keith Moreland has an opportunity to knock one in. And that he'll do with a fly ball to right field. Marshall coming on. There's going to be a play at the plate. Here comes the throw, and here comes Sandberg. He's out. great throw by Marshall, a good tag by Trevino, and Sandberg not happy with the call of Bob Engel, but it stands. And at the end of 3.5, the Dodgers still on top, 1-0.
Susan Hayward's looking for her husband.
Will you help me?
What she finds is Clark Gable. Soldier of Fortune, Sunday night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
We head into the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's going to be Enos Cabell to lead off. And let's take a look at Mike Marshall's throw once again.
Here comes Sandberg down the line. Trevino out to take the throw. And a sweeping tag there. Cubs claiming that Trevino missed the tag, and that's the first words out of Sandberg's mouth to the plate umpire Bob Engel. Here's another look. See if you can tell from this angle. Engel in a great spot to make the call. Checks to see if Trevino hangs out of the baseball, and out is the call.
Cabell, Trevino, and Hamilton to face Steve Trout, who's given up 3 base hits. And both pitchers continue to dodge the bullet. This game could easily be 4-3 one way or the other. Steve Trout getting out of a jam in the 1st inning with bases loaded, nobody out, a sacrifice fly by Cabell. And then Alex Trevino on the hit and run lined into a double play. Last inning, good play by Sean Dunston took care of the Dodgers. And the bunt attempt by Cabell. He's 5 for 11 this year against the Cubs, hitting .259 lifetime. And Enos has hit Steve Trout very well, 6 for 14, so he hasn't been fooled by Trout. Outfield is straight away. Swing and a miss. Was Cabell a first baseman in Houston when you were there? Did he play third?
Well, he played mostly third, but he played a lot of first base coming up, even over at Baltimore. I think he had a little exposure at first base before being traded to the National League. So he's a very good first baseman. That's not a foreign position to him. Matter of fact, he's probably a better first baseman than third baseman.
1-2 count. Good look at Steve Trout on the mound. Line drive, right field, base hit. And the Dodgers have done that as well as anybody against Steve Trout.
One of the reasons Trout has to establish his inside game. He has to work some hitters inside with that slider. Otherwise, they're out there looking for the pitch away, and they'll go the other way.
Alex Trevino lined into a double play to end the 1st inning. He hit a rocket right at Keith Moreland. With the runners going, Moreland easily doubled him off at first. There's a bunt. It looks like they have a definite game plan. They're going to bunt on Ron Cey, take the ball to right field, and steal every chance they get. Bill Russell bunted for a base hit in the 1st inning. They've tried 3 other times to lay the ball down, and there's a look at Mike Scioscia. And the Dodgers, from their standpoint, can't get him back any too soon. They can really use that left-handed bat in the lineup. Breaking ball inside, and the count evens at 1-1. Pickoff throw to first. Cabell, not a great base runner, is not possessed of the best speed around. So he's not taking too much of a lead, but that will not preclude him from the hit and run situation. He's stolen 6 bases this year. He's been thrown out 1 time. Trout, a very difficult man to steal against. He and Jody Davis are a formidable duo. Two and 1. Pickoff throw to first once again. Billy Connors and Gene Michael would love to see Steve Trout go through the 7th inning, something he hasn't been able to do in some time. His last 5 appearances have been no decisions. Off-speed pitch misses down, and the count goes to 3-1.
Might be tempting for the Dodgers here to do a little something, like starting the base runner.
This is a good time to try to pick off Enos Cabell if he is running. He might just take a step towards second. You might get him breaking early. Runner going. Throw to second, but it's ball 4, so it really doesn't matter. And everybody smiles. Paul Runge and Enos Cabell.
Jody not waiting on the umpire to make the call. Went ahead and made the play, the throw down to second base.
From a catching standpoint, there's no reason to do any umpiring yourself. You make the throw, you hope it doesn't go into center field, so you suffer the embarrassment of an error on a walk. And now Jeff Hamilton comes up, and he's talking with Joey Amalfitano, who I believe is talking to him about laying the ball down. He's getting the sign from Tommy Lasorda. Now you got a left-hander due up next, and there you see Lasorda checking the lineup, so they might just allow Hamilton to take one swing for himself before he lays it down. Ron Say even with the bag at third, and the bull in very close at first. Looks at a strike over the inside corner. What do you think of Hamilton from what you've seen so far?
He's big and strong. I think you have to be positively impressed so far. We've only seen him. This is the third game, so it's a little difficult, but you know that he has good athletic ability, a good arm.
And a little looper over the head of Sandberg. He can't get to it. Here comes the run. The Dodgers are going to be on top 2-0. And Alex Trevino goes to third. So RBI number 8 for Jeff Hamilton.
A little inside out here for Hamilton. That's a pretty good job of hitting by the young right-handed third baseman. The ball in on him. He pulls the hands in and loops it into right center. He was saying before the game, it's just a matter of believing you can do it up here and trying to feel comfortable. The youngster, the first time around in the major leagues, will have the natural tendency to be a little nervous, and I think he's suffering that as well, but he has a chance to be a very good player for the Dodgers.
He also said he wanted to take the ball to right field more, and he did. He inside-outed that ball, showed pretty good strength. Landreau lined out to Sandberg in the second, and he chops the ball over the middle. Dunston can't get to second base, but he throws him out at first. It's an RBI for Landreau, number 26. And on the play, Jeff Hamilton moves to second, and the Dodgers move on top 3-0.
Frustrating feeling for Dunston once he got to that ball, but he just couldn't get back to second base in time for the force on Hamilton. He had the sure out at first and had to settle for that on this chop up the middle by Ken Landreau. There's Dunston. You can see him with a couple little stutter steps wanting to go to second base, but the play's at first as the run scores.
That'll bring up Reggie Williams, who lined out to Ron Say to end the second. And he slices this ball foul. Reggie Williams, a good-looking athlete, plays a fine defensive center field. The Dodgers didn't know how much he would hit. This is his second tour of duty in the major leagues, and he gets more comfortable by the game. Slices this ball to right field away from Keith Moreland. It falls in there. And here comes Hamilton. He's going to score the 4th Dodger run, and Reggie Williams has his 15th RBI. And they're right fielding Steve Trout to death.
You know, the key hit of this inning was the base hit by Hamilton. Not only did that produce a run, but it defeated what Trout was trying to do against the Dodger lineup. That pitch was away from Williams, and he hit it to right field, but the pitch to Hamilton was in on him, and he just brought the hands in and hit it the other way nevertheless. A big hit for the Dodgers here by Jeff Hamilton.
Alejandro Pena. He'll be trying to bunt the ball. Ron Sayin very close at third, and there's the bunt out in front of the plate, and it's a good one. Only one play for Leon. Fires to first and gets him, and on the play, Reggie Williams moves into scoring position. So the sacrifice is accomplished 3-4, and we go to the top of the order. And no, Mike Marshall did not start this game as a leadoff hitter. He has some speed, but not that much speed. Mariano Duncan left with stomach flu. Marshall took over in right field. Bill Russell going to shortstop. And Marshall's been up once tonight. He flied out to center field in the third inning. Good speed at second in Reggie Williams. Swing and a miss by Marshall. 4 injections of cortisone yesterday in his back was giving him periodic problems. Now he says he feels pretty decent, and he's back today. Outfield straightaway and very deep. Marshall with enormous power to right center field. Jams in with a fastball, and the count goes to 1-1.
Cubs have right-hander Ed Lynch throwing in the bullpen.
Fastball over the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. Marshall said the Dodgers are going to be okay as soon as they get back Guerrero, Madlock, himself, and Greg Brock. And they could use Socha and Anderson in the lineup. Missing outside with the sinker, and the count goes to 2-2. Well, Ed Lynch is not scheduled till after the All-Star break, so they might try to get a couple of innings out of him.
And Gene Michael and Billy Connor were saying before the ball game that he could go 2 or 3 innings, they felt.
Swing and a miss. Ties him up inside, but a good inning for the Dodgers. They get 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 left. And at the end of 4 full innings, the Dodgers on top 4-0.
I hope they don't hang you, Precious, for that sweet neck.
Humphrey Bogart, the Maltese Falcon, Monday night at 7 on Channel 9.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is the Ameritech Bell Yellow Pages, published by Donnelly Directory.
That's what it looks like here at night in Los Angeles. A beautiful view. This is an outstanding night to play baseball, but it hasn't turned out that way for the Cubs so far. They trail 4-0 heading into the top of the 5th inning, and it's going to be the Bull to lead off, Leon Durham.
Leon Durham.
Leon grounded a shortstop in the 2nd inning, and he's had a succession of broken bats. They've been throwing him inside, sawing him off at the hands. You can see last 2 fingers on his left hand still taped up. He banged into the wall in San Diego, and it's still giving him some trouble. Good sinker, swing and a miss. Alejandro Pena, the starter, still on the mound. And this is the time when Ron Peronowski and Tommy Lasorda really look closely at Pena. Breaking ball misses down, and the count evens at 1-1.
Longest outing, 5 2/3 in a start against the Reds.
Two and 1 count on Leon.
This is just Pena's 3rd start of the year. He made 9 appearances out of the bullpen before getting a start.
Popped way up in the air. Steve Sax calling for it. He's under it, and he makes the catch. They had a list of all the Dodger trades and dealings since 1977 in the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner today. And everybody feels that this is a top-flight organization, and it is. They brought some good players to the major leagues, but Dwayne, they've made some real bad trades. You look at them, Jeff Leonard for Joe Ferguson. Leonard, of course, went on to be a fine player. Davey Lopes for Lance Hudson. Where is he now? How about John Franco for Rafael Landestoy? Franco, probably the toughest left-handed reliever in the league. Then you go down to Mitch Webster, who they allowed to be drafted out of their system. Rick Rhoden went on to become a pretty good pitcher, although they got Jerry Royce in return for that one. Rick Sutcliffe. For 3 guys, only 1 is still with the ball club. That Jack Fimple. Let Don Sutton go free agent. Dusty Baker, free agent. Steve Garvey, free agent. Lee Lacy, they allowed to go free agent. Ron Kittle was released. So they've lost some pretty good talent here the last few years.
Yeah, they gave up on Kittle fairly early. I think he was only 21, 22 years old.
How about Sid Fernandez for Bob Baylor and Carlos Diaz? How's that trade? Not looking real good this year.
You know, when they dealt Franco, they had Steve Howe here, and they felt they were pretty well situated for a left-hander in the bullpen, and then Howe came up with all of his problems. They'd already dealt Franco and needed a left-hander in the worst way, and they made that deal sending Sid Fernandez to the Mets in the Carlos Diaz trade.
Off the hands. Enos Cabell can't get to it. Just out of his reach, but a good try by Cabell. And Jody will have to go back and get another bat.
The ball moving in on Jody. We'll see the effort by Cabell back of first in foul territory.
Well, in Chub Feeney's last year, in an effort to defeat the American League one more time, he's going to stack the lineup with Davises. Chili Davis, Jody Davis, and Glenn Davis, all playing on the National League All-Star team.
I never thought you'd say that a fellow 6'5" came up a little short, but Cabell did that time.
Jody's swinging the bat pretty well of late, but the man who's really done the damage on this road trip has been Gary Matthews, who has really had a resurgence, swinging the bat, the average right around 235, but he's hit 5 home runs on this Western swing. Nice stop by Alex Trevino, and a full count on Jody. So Sandberg and Davis, the two representatives for the Cubs, I'm sure they'll both enjoy the Astrodome and just the thrill of being at the All-Star game. Mike Scioscia, Tommy Lasorda, enjoying tonight's game. And a foul tip, and they got him on strikes. Jody just couldn't get the bat back.
Second time Jody's gone down on strikes, and the third strikeout for Alejandro Pena tonight.
The Penguin grounded to his counterpart at third base, Jeff Hamilton, in the third inning. Ron hitting .240 lifetime against his former mates, and he's 4 for 17 this year. Outfield around toward left center and deep. The Cubs trailing 4-0. They've been out hit 6-2, and both teams have committed an error. Ground ball to shortstop. Russell up with it. Fires across and gets him, so 3 up and 3 down for Pena. And at the end of 4.5 innings, the Dodgers on top 4-0.
Hey, if you're a true Blue Cub fan, join with me and Stan. Then with cold buds raised on high, let's shout throughout the land. I'm a Cub fan.
He's a Cub man.
And I'm a Bud man.
He's a Bud man.
Chicago and Budweiser, my town and my beer. If you want the Cubs to win, just raise your glass and cheer. I'm a Cub fan, and I'm a Bud man.
He's a Bud.
Holy cow!
Close your eyes, Harry.
Tales from the Dark Side. Sunday night at 10 on Channel 9.
We head into the bottom of the 5th. Steve Stone, along with Dewayne Staats and Arnie Harris, the producer-director, taking you through the middle here in Los Angeles. And it's not a happy story for the Cubs so far. The Dodgers on top 4-0. The Cubs have not been able to break through against Alejandro Pena. And the Dodgers have taken Steve Trout to right field consistently. There's a panorama, Dodger Stadium. It's a beautiful place to play ball. And Steve Sax is going to lead off the 5th inning. He'll be followed by Bill Russell and Enos Cabell. Sax 1 for 1 tonight, drew a base on balls in the 1st inning. 13 for 32 this year against the Cubs, hitting just over 300 lifetime. He has become an outstanding all-around player. Swing and a miss on a straight change. He had his problems in the field. Now he has those straightened out, and he's become pretty dependable.
Having a career year. He's right there in all the categories, among the top 10 in on-base percentage. Now you see second in the league in total hits.
Jams Misses him high and tight. The count goes to 1-1. So Trout knows that Sax wants to go to right field, and he's trying to take that away from him. Bill Madlock in the corner. He's due back any time off the disabled list. Working out at third base today. Swing and a miss. He tied him up inside, and the count goes to 1-2. Madlock gave the Dodgers what they needed last year, a dependable bat the last 6 weeks of the season. Count evens at 2-2. And a good look at Steve Trout. Oh, that pitch off. It looked like he swung before the pitch hit him. Sax originally from Sacramento, California. Last year hit .279. Only hit 1 home run. He's hit 4 this year, and 3 of them against the Cubs. Chopper right back up the middle. Dunston coming on. He fires across and gets him.
Dunston knew right away that he had to charge this one. No way he could stay back on this one. Sax with good speed, chopping that one into the dirt in front of the plate. There's Dunston charging in, making the pickup, and the throw to Leon Durham to get Sax.
Bill Russell's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled in the first inning, grounded to shortstop in the third. He pops this one up down the right side. The Bull giving it a look, but it's back in the seats. Russell is 11 for 21 lifetime against Steve Trout. And one of the reasons is he's a pity-pat hitter. He takes the ball to right field, just tries to get the bat on the ball. And that's been the entire Dodger offense tonight. 6 singles. And they've taken most everything the opposite way. Grounded foul. 0-2 count.
Russell's played in more games than any other Los Angeles Dodger. And 3rd on the all-time Dodger list.
Just missing low and away, and the count goes to 1-2.
Zach Wheat and Pee Wee Reese ahead of him on the all-time list for Dodger players.
What kind of a player was Zach Wheat?
You remember him, don't you?
Right at Dunston.
I was going to ask you how you used to pitch him.
I remember Zach. So Sean in the right place, and 2 out here in the 5th inning. And Enos Cabell steps up, hit a sacrifice fly in the first inning, knocked in run number 16, and singled and scored a run in the 4th inning. He started out the inning with a single to right. Good sinker, catches the outside corner. 0-1. Trout is due up second next inning, so that's likely to be it for him. He'd like to finish this one off. Good straight change. Cabell in a hole 0-2. Cabell's hit nearly 500 lifetime against Steve Trout. Little pop up to center field. Jerry Mumphrey right in his tracks. And he makes the catch. 3 up and 3 down for Trout. We're through 5 with the Dodgers on top, 4-0. We're coming closer to deciding the number of Cub home runs hit by All-Star break. They're at 77 right now, and it's time to play the Pepsi-Cola Chicago Cubs home run countdown. If you match the number on Pepsi caps or inside the bottom of Pepsi cans to the number of Cub home runs hit by All-Star break, you can win up to $10,000 in cash or a Chevy Z24 automobile. So start playing now. And there's some Cub fans here in attendance. Judging by the notes that Harry has gotten, there's a number of Cub fans. Came down just for this big 4-game series.
Hitting off for the Cubs, shortstop, Sean Dunston.
Mike Superstein among them, a big Cub fan watching tonight. And Sean Dunston to lead off the 6th. Terry Francona on deck. He'll come on to pinch hit for Steve Trout.
John's been hitting the ball well lately. A little trouble early on the trip, but is 8 of his last 20.
Fly ball left field. Landreau goes back a few steps and he makes the catch. You know, Sean's hit very well against the Dodgers, and different teams have thrown him different ways. It seems like San Francisco and San Diego held him down pretty well, jammed him a lot. The Dodgers don't seem to be doing that, and Sean is swinging the bat well against him. Terry Francona hitting .212 is 3 for 20 as a pinch hitter. And 5 innings is what Steve Trout will go tonight. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Shows bunt and takes it high. Pena throwing the ball very well, and I'm sure much to the delight of Tommy Lasorda and Ron Peranowski. Good fastball over the inside corner. So he still has a little pop on that fastball. Anytime a right-hander can get inside on a left-hander with a fastball, he's got something on it. 2-1.
I'll say this, his motion seems to be free and easy, a nice fluid motion. Doesn't appear to have any ill effects as a result of the surgery.
No, very much so. He looks very good out there tonight. Down the line, hit well, but curving foul. Pena had that surgery 2 weeks before spring training of 1985, and last year he was limited to just 4 1/3 innings. His career was definitely in jeopardy, and many people around here didn't think he'd ever throw the ball again. So regardless of the outcome of this year for Alejandro Pena, he has proved a lot of skeptics wrong. He is indeed healthy and able to throw pretty well in the major leagues. Right back up the middle, base hit. Francona's aboard with his 4th pinch hit. Reggie Williams chases it down, gets it back in, and he holds him at first.
The one thing Pena has had going for him tonight, he's had pretty good placement. He hasn't had a lot of movement, it would appear, on his pitches, but his placement has been very good.
And the bullpen's going to start to stir for the Dodgers. This is the time they're very concerned with the condition of Pena as far as stability in that shoulder and endurance is concerned. Mumphrey's 0 for 2, but he's hit the ball right on the nose twice.
And Steve, the longer he goes into the game, the more likely he is to get even less movement on his pitches.
And they don't want to take a chance on hurting him, so Carlos Diaz up and throwing in the pen. Mumphrey fouls it straight back. For the last 6 weeks, Jerry Mumphrey has been hitting the ball right on the nose consistently, but he's been hitting in some terrible luck. The batting average down in the mid-250s. Here's a man who could easily hitting about 300, but he hasn't had much of anything fall for him. Reds beat the Expos 2-0, and the Cards leading the Padres 4-2 in the 7th. Fly ball left field. Kenny Landreau back. He's at the warning track, and he makes the catch in front of the wall. Terry Francona chased back to first base. Well hit once again, but nothing to show for it.
Francona was all the way around the bag at second, and to retrace his steps, touching the bag on his way back to first. There's Landreau. Boy, that's a long shot to the opposite field by Mumphrey, and it gives you an idea that the Cubs getting some good shots at Pena. Pena into some shaky ground here in the 6th inning. And the way Matthews has been swinging the bat, the Cubs delighted that he's up there now.
Singled in the 1st inning, drew a base on balls in the 4th, and he'd like to get the Cubs right back in this one with a long ball. Fouls the ball off to the right. Matthews with a couple of home runs yesterday. 9 of his 10 home runs this year have come with nobody aboard. So they might take to calling him Napoleon Solo. It was a TV series before your time. Well, maybe not before your time.
A reserved comment.
The man on the camera is Henry Matthews, who's shooting his brother, Gary. So a few people hoping that Gary can take one out of the ballpark. Right back up the middle, a base hit. 2 for 2 for the Sarge, who's red hot. I don't know how much longer they're going to go with Pena. Niedenfuer has joined Diaz in the bullpen. There you take a look at the Dodger pen. And if Pena can get through this inning, I'm certain that's going to be it for him. And the Cubs are hoping they can do some damage before he leaves the mound. Rhino's 0 for 2. He struck out to end the first inning. Grounded right back to the mound into a force play in the fourth.
Either way, Steve, I think Sandberg may be the last hitter Pena faces in this game.
2 on, 2 out. The Cubs trail by 4. And Rhino pops it foul. Keith Moreland on deck. Cubs had a pretty good shot at scoring against Pena in the fourth inning, but a good throw by Mike Marshall cut down Ryan Sandberg trying to score in a fly ball. Pops it up. Trevino coming back, but it's back in the seats. And Sandberg in a hole 0-2. There's Lasorda in an animated conversation with Ron Peranowski. They're very happy with the job that Peranowski has done out here as a pitching coach. He was a whale of a reliever in his day. Rhino pops it up one more time. Trevino coming back, but he'll run out of room.
That pitch may have been a little bit out of the strike zone, but down on the count. Sandberg went after the pitch and fouled it back.
Let's see if he follows the typical pitcher's tradition. He had 0-2, and he tried to throw the high, tight fastball by him. And a lot of pitchers will go to the low breaking ball 0-2, even with runners on base. Figures he might get him to swing at a bad ball. Let's hope he hangs it. Ground ball foul. He went to the curveball. And Rhino fought it off. So pretty good battle between Sandberg and Pena. Rhino hitting .317 lifetime against the Dodgers. Headed for Houston. He'll be the starting second baseman for the National League. Fly ball right field, slicing away from Mike Marshall. Long run for Marshall. He can't get to it, and it's a fair ball. 1-run scoring. Matthews has to hold up at third, and it's an RBI double for Sandberg. Number 45.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Sandberg, after fouling a number of pitches away, took this pitch the other way. Just fair and just out of the reach of Mike Marshall. That ball just inside the line.
That'll bring up Keith Moreland, and I'm going to be surprised if they throw to him. They're up 3 runs. They've got first base open. And Diaz in the bullpen with a left-hander coming up, but apparently they're going to take their chances. Line drive to left field, well hit. Landro can't get the ball. 2 runs are scoring. The ball goes to the wall, and Keith Moreland at second base with a double, and it's a 4-3 game. And I can't believe that Tommy Lasorda allowed him to face Keith Moreland.
Well, we talked about it earlier. We thought Sandberg, one way or the other, would be the last hitter Pena faced. But the Dodgers have had such a difficult time with their bullpen that Lasorda tried to go just one more hitter with Pena, and the Cubs take advantage of that mistake in judgment. And now it's a 1-run ball game, and Lasorda comes out to get Pena.
RBIs 42 and 43 for Keith Moreland. And we'll be back with more after these messages.
Hey, Jill, did you know I got a photographic memory?
No, Nick.
Sure, watch this. Rick Sutcliffe, 812 strikeouts, 3.73 ERA, 81 wins, 54 losses.
Wow, Nick.
Gary Matthews.
Cub fans, right now you can get a photographic memory free from Unical dealers.
Scott Sanderson.
1 earned run in 39 innings.
How'd you know that?
The stats are on the back, Nick.
Hey, Murph, did you know I got a photographic
Spirit of 76.
Get your free Cub action photos.
Exit Alejandro Pena. Enter Carlos Diaz to face Leon Durham. And what do you have on him, Dwayne?
Diaz has no record this year, nor any saves. His earned run average 366. This is his 15th appearance of the year. He's given up 22 hits in 19 2/3 innings, 12 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's been touched for 1 home run.
Number 27, Carlos Diaz.
Keith Moreland representing the tying run at second base. So after the flyout by Dunston, Terry Francona delivered his 4th pinch hit of the year. Jerry Mumphrey flied out deep to left field, and with 2 out, Gary Matthews singled up the middle. Ryan Sandberg doubled in a run, his 45th of the year, and a line drive that fell in front of Kenny Landreau in left field knocked in 2 runs for Keith Moreland, and we stand at 4-3, and Tommy Lasorda has got to be second-guessing himself.
First baseman, Leon Durham.
Gene Michael, John Vukovich talking it over. After 5 innings where they couldn't touch Pena, the Cubs have erupted here in the 6th. And the Bulls 0 for 2. He's grounded out and popped up. Facing the left-hander for the first time, Diaz does it with a big, hard-breaking curveball. And there it is for a strike. Diaz, the only remnant of that Sid Fernandez trade that sent Sid to the Mets. Curveball misses down, and the count evens at 1-1. Diaz last year appeared in 45 games for the Dodgers, 6-3 with a fine .261 ERA. Broken bat looper. Steve Sax going out. He can't get to it. The ball falls and the game's tied. Keith Moreland comes on to score the 4th run. All the runs charged to Alejandro Pena. And RBI 37 for Durham.
There's Lasorda out after Diaz. Here's another look at the pitch. A broken bat looper in the right center field, falling in front of Williams and Marshall. And Moreland trots home with the 4th run of the inning and the tying run of the ball game for the Cubs.
We'll be back with more after these messages. After facing only 1 hitter, Carlos Diaz departs. And there you take a look at king-size Tom Niedenfuer. What do you have on him, Dwayne?
He's been busy. This is his 40th appearance, 5-3 with 4 saves and a .321 earned run average for the right-hander. Niedenfuer has given up 53 hits in just over 53 innings, 45 strikeouts and 19 walks for Niedenfuer. And of course, the home run ball has been his big nemesis. He's given up 10 home runs in just the 53 1/3 innings he has worked.
You know, he's really caught in a tough dilemma. He's got a great fastball, and at times he has a very good slider. And if he throw the slider more, it'd cut down his home runs given up. But if he throws the slider more, he hurts his elbow, and then he can't pitch at all. So he usually tries to go just with the fastball. It doesn't sink, it stays up, and that's the ball they take out of the ballpark.
That's what you call psychological double jeopardy.
And Jody Davis is going to try to take advantage of that big Niedenfuer fastball. He's been up twice. He's struck out twice, both against Pena. Now he gets a look at Tom Niedenfuer. Jody with 11 home runs, 38 RBIs.
Trout's off the hook now in terms of the loss. Still could get the win.
I like that Trout's off the hook. It's a good line. Oh, Arnie says you were fishing for a compliment. But I'd never say that.
I don't need one after that line you came up with a few minutes ago.
Runner going. Throw to second base. It's high. And Leon Durham steals a base.
Well, the Cubs didn't waste any time. Niedenfuer didn't look over at first, and Durham is off and running. So he's in with a stolen base. Second of the night for the Cubs.
And the 5th stolen base of the year for the Bull, who's been thrown out 5 times. Cubs trying to run themselves ahead of the Dodgers. 1-0 count on Jody. There's the slider. Count evens at 1-1. Outfield straight away. The best arm in the outfield, probably in right field, and Mike Marshall. Another slider misses outside. Count goes to 2-1. The Cubs have now out-hit the Dodgers 7-6. It's tied on the scoreboard at 4. Tied in the error column at 1. And a very unhappy Tom Lasorda. His bullpen has been a disaster these last 3 or 4 weeks. Long drive to left field. Kenny Landreau there. And he makes the catch. But not before the Cubs get 4 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors, and they leave 1. And we head into the bottom of the 6th with the game tied at 4.
Builder Square, where you guarantee the lowest prices on home improvement on every item every day. 7 Chicago area convenient locations to serve you.
We're going to pause for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
And some Cub fans and Dodger fans looking on as Ed Lynch takes over for Steve Trout.
Ed's making his 4th appearance overall. His 3rd appearance in a Cub uniform, and earned an average of 0.61. There's the overall line on him this year. 10 hits in just under 15 innings, 8 strikeouts and 3 walks. And he's coming off the 7-inning outing on Wednesday in San Francisco. He threw 91 pitches in that outing.
Lynch has had a very good sinker. He throws a slow breaking ball with it. Steve Trout will get another no decision tonight. Hasn't had one since June 8th.
Yeah, that's when he beat the Cardinals 14-2. So he will have had 6 straight no decisions.
Good breaking ball for a strike. Trevino lined into a double play. Keith Moreland to Leon Durham in the 1st inning and drew a base on ball, scored a run in the 4th. Line drive center field. Jerry Mumphrey right there, and he makes the catch.
Lynch has been a very pleasant addition to the Cubs staff. He's picked up some of the slack.
Jeff Hamilton
had 2 good outings, both starts, and now in relief.
And he does throw strikes, which is something you always look for. He's got experience, and he could be a very valuable member, especially if they can use him occasionally in long relief. I would think that at this point, with the rotation the way it is, he will stay in the starting rotation. He's proven that he can get some people out. Jeff Hamilton looks at a breaking ball down. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 4th inning. His 8th RBI of the year. Dodgers feel one day he's going to be a very good hitter. Didn't mean to swing and taps it to first base. Durham will go to Lynch. And Hamilton's retired. 3-1.
Trying to hold up on a breaking ball.
fielder Ken Landreau.
And rolled out easily.
Kenny Landreau knocked in a run in this 4th inning with a ground ball to shortstop. He lined out to Sandberg in the 2nd. Landreau has got a world of talent, one of the players that never seems to get what his manager thinks he should out of his ability. Looks at a fastball away. He's out of Arizona State. Spent some time with the California Angels, the Minnesota Twins, then came over to the Dodgers. Mickey Hatcher went to Minnesota in the trade. 2-0 count on Landreau.
Ken Howell, the right-hander, is loosening in the Dodgers bullpen now, beyond the fence and left.
All three a fastball away. Lasorda has seen enough leads disappear this year to last him about 4 seasons. So fastball for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. Reggie Williams on deck. And there's a good look at a new addition, Ed Lynch. Little looper to center field. Jerry Mumphrey coming on, and he makes the catch. Well, Harry's coming back for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dwayne, it has been productive.
Cubs have made up some ground, and we're all tied.
End of 6, 4-4.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. With Steve Stone, Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium. We go to the top of the 7th, and here's the Penguins. All tied up 4-4. The Cubs have come back a long way. Steve Trout is off the hook, and so is Alejandro Pena. And now it comes down to Niedenfuer against Lynch. And the Penguin took a swing and missed. Ronnie has bounced out twice. Oh, they're starting a wave here. Now the 0-1 pitch, a little bit outside. Well, it doesn't seem as formidable at Dodger Stadium as it does at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. They're getting ready to get out of here. It's the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch. He tapped it foul.
Niedenfuer was a very good pitcher for the Dodgers last year. 7-9 with a 2.71 ERA in 64 appearances. He had 19 saves. But this year, he's fallen upon long ball-itis. Has trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Yeah, he's permitted 10 of them already, and Matthews had won them against him last night. He was touched for 2 runs and 3 hits. There's the pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tom Niedenfuer. Big, strong right-hander, delivers. Fouls it back. And the Penguin really had a home run cut that time. Niedenfuer stands 6'5", weighs 230. As the late Gabby Street used to say, too big to be a man and not quite big enough to be a horse. Look what the Mariners are doing to Milwaukee. 11-2 in the 5th. Fouls it back again, and he's still alive.
Ed Vandenberg is in the bullpen along with Ken Howell. So if Niedenfuer gets in any trouble at all, he's not long for this ball game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ron Say, who's hit many a home run in this ballpark. Outside and high, ball 3. He represents a go-ahead run if he gets on there. Sean Dunston on deck. 3-2 the count. Make it be a good pitch. In foul territory. Cabell is there. 1 away. So the Penguin is 0 for 3 tonight. Here's Dunston. One man out. Dunston 0 for 2. Pitch is outside. He's had 2 hits in each of the previous 2 games. A high pop foul back and out of play. Well, they're watching the game in Rockies in Peoria. Lou and Gigi sent along that information. That's Rocky Von Aken, who with his dad owned the Peoria Chiefs, who have a very popular restaurant and bar in Peoria. The Peoria ball players eat and drink on the house. 1-1 pitch. Boy, he had a good idea. Third baseman was playing him deep, and Dunston shortened up as if he were going to bunt. Pulled back, though, in time. 2 balls and a strike. Now you see Hamilton. He's guarding the line at third. Strike called. He started to swing, changed his mind, and the count is evened up. They're here from displaying to see the game. 2-2. High pop foul. That's going to be out of play. Vic DiCasula from Chicago here. And Jim Stocco, now living in Redondo Beach.
Ruben Amaro came down the line to say something to Sean Dunston. Tommy Lasorda looks on for the 2-2 count. Not sure what he's talking to him about.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a good shot of Niedenfuer. Fly ball, right center, may drop. It died. The lead run is on with 1 out. And here comes Ed Lynch up there. And probably he'll be trying to advance him with a sacrifice. Reggie Williams couldn't reach it.
Dunston takes the big turn and almost does the splits at first base as Reggie Williams comes on. And you can see him getting back. And now Billy Williams is still talking to him. And I'm wondering if the knee's okay. He really went around and pulled up short.
Jim Belushi of Chicago watching the game here with his son. Jim is getting rave notices in the movie.
About last night.
About last night. Must be a great movie, too. Our kind of movie.
Yeah.
Lynch at the plate. One man out. Again, Dunston is back. Betty and Les Elms from Fullerton, California. Watch the Cubs on TV.
Lynch has shown that he can swing the bat some. He might pull it back if they charge him.
He bunts. The only play is going to be first base. Almost threw it badly. So it's up to Jerry Mumphrey. And if you want a guy who's hit the ball consistently hard, coming up for you in a spot like this, you got the right man. He lined to center, he lined to left to the second baseman, and he flied deep against the left field wall to Landreau. So now, maybe he'll dunk one in just to even things up.
Broken bat single to center would do just fine in this situation. Dunston is going to score on any base hit.
A base hit in the left field. Here's Dunston. Here's the throw. He took a wide turn, but he's saved. Now they got Mumphrey trapped, and he is out, but the run is in. And and the Cubs have taken the lead. Mumphrey came through with a line single to left, scoring Dunston. And so, we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs are ahead 5-4. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Well, that Mumphrey, he just kept hitting the ball hard until he found a hole.
And this is a good hole to find to Kenny Landreau. He doesn't have the best arm, and Dunston, although he did take the wide turn, makes it easily. The throw's off the mark, and then Jerry, as the trailer, gets thrown out at second.
I thought he was going to shake hands with Tommy Lasorda when he rounded third base.
He was close to it.
Here we go with Spire playing third base now, and Reggie Williams going to lead it off. He's 1 out of 2.
Greg Brock in the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for Niedenfuer.
5-4, the Cubs have taken the lead. A little pop fly, Dunston's there. Short left, and he takes it. 1 away. And let's see who the pinch hitter is going to be. Brock, Greg Brock. He struck out pinch hitting last night.
Brock hitting .211, 1 for 7 this year as a pinch hitter. He's just been activated after arthroscopic knee surgery. And Niedenfuer, who's the pitcher of record, is out of the ball game.
1 man out. There's a pitch a little bit outside. Five-4 Cubs, bottom of the 7th. He had a cut. Now Lynch is the pitcher of record here, as is Niedenfuer for the Dodgers. There you see Lasorda with Monty Basco to his right. Ron Peronowski's pitching coach to the left. 2 balls and a strike. Tom and Annette of Irvine, California. The family watching the game in Chicago. That evens it up. 2-2. Howell is working in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Hey, foul tips. Hey, they're here from McCook, Nebraska. The John Gumma family. Spelled backwards comes out Mumug. Two balls, 2 strikes. The count is full. Ed Lynch in relief. Has retired 4 in a row. High pop foul. He keeps fouling off the good pitches. The Reams are here from Manuka, Illinois. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A big pitch here. Ed Lynch from Brooklyn, New York. A little tap, that ought to be easy. Sandberg over to first, 2 away. 5 in a row retired by Lynch.
Right fielder,
And that will bring up Mike Marshall. Don't make a mistake with this guy.
Mike was not chosen for the All-Star game. He felt that if he kept his statistics up over the last couple of weeks when he was hurt, he might have had a good shot at it. Tremendous power this young man possesses. And Jody Davis out to talk with Ed Lynch about just where he wants to work Marshall.
Bob and Mark Krause from Hazen, North Dakota, who love the Cubs. 2 men are out. Strike on the outside corner. Well, whatever you want to say about Lynch, there's one thing nobody can deny. He knows how to pitch. He moves the ball, he's in and out, keeps the ball down. There's a high pop fly. That ought to be easy. Moreland. They retire the side, 1, 2, 3. At the end of 7, the Cubs are leading 5-4.
Cub fans, stop at your participating Unical 76 stations to get an action color photograph. This week, George Fraser is featured, so stop in today.
The Cubs are winning 5-4. We're going in the top of the 8th. 44,896 paid here today. There are over 46,000 in the ballpark. But as soon as the 7th inning ended, they began leaving. Now you see a lot of empty seats. Here we go.
With Ken Howell on the mound, 2-6, but a sparkling 1.94 ERA, making his 32nd appearance. He's got 6 saves, 55 2/3 innings. He's only given up 40 hits and 12 earned runs. Has yet to allow a home run this year. He's walked 35, struck out 58.
Here's Matthews hitting a ground ball on the first pitch by Howell, and he's an easy out, 1 away. Listen to this note. Harry and Steve, S-T-E-A-V.
Second baseman.
My name is Patrick Pierce. I came for my birthday with my family. I'm going to be 7. We were the people that gave you the chair. Say hello to everybody in Chicago. Please announce the Pierces on TV from San Juan Capistrano. P.S. Your restaurant is great.
I don't care if he spells the name right.
What a cute note. 1 out, nobody on. Sandberg chased a bad ball. Rhino doubled in the 6th inning, driving in a run. Moreland tied it up as he drove in a couple of. And then they went ahead in the 7th, in case you're joining us late. That's Jane Fonda watching the game. There's strike 3 call to Sandberg. And he's 1 out of 4. Here's Moreland. He's had 1 hit tonight, but in the clutch when it really counted. It tied up the ball game. And Jim Belushi, who was with us on radio. I guess he's one of those who left at the end of the 7th. Moreland lines one to right for a hit. So the redhead pops one in the right field this time. And here's Leon Durham.
Leon Durham.
He tied up the ball game with a base hit. It scored Moreland in the 6th.
Cubs would like to add an insurance run. Can't feel too comfortable, only 1 run up. Although the Dodgers are not a team that have come back. And the Bull will have a good fastball to hit. Howell's got a great arm.
There's a strike called. Tomorrow's television time was rather strange. At 3:45, there's a drive by Durham. Way back. It might be. And it is a home run. The Bull finally got all of one. His game-tying hit in the sixth was a broken bat blooper. His two-run homer in the eighth goes a mile. And True Value Hardware happily donates $200 to Cubs Care and the Northwestern Memorial Hospital in the fight against cancer. What a happy season.
The first home run hit off Ken Howell, and the Bull couldn't be happier. His 10th home run, RBIs 38 and 39, and he turns on this low fastball and drives it way back over the head of Mike Marshall. No doubt about this one. He gets all of it.
Look at that. It was halfway up into those seats. There's a happy scene in the Cub dugout. They're now ahead 7-4. There's Leon, a happy young man. His average had fallen down to... Here's Jody, a little pop fly. Sax is out there. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Cubs. And we go down to the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs are out in front, 7-4. Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium for all the many people we have from Las Vegas who are in the audience. How about those numbers? 7 and 11 for the Cubs. 7 runs on 11 hits. Jerry Mumphrey has moved now from center to left field. And David Martinez comes in to play center field as Steve Sax steps to the plate. Ed Lynch is the pitcher of record with a 7-4 lead, a slow curve for a strike call. Brian and Corey Smethurst and Wood Pendleton from the Budweiser softball team in St. George, Utah, are here pulling for the Cubs. Slow curve, strike 2. Ed Lynch, who's been brilliant since he joined the Cubs. This fellow was a good pitcher with the Mets, but they had so many pitchers, there was no room, no chance for him to play. 0-2 the count. 1-2 on Steve Sax. Cardinals defeated San Diego 4-2 tonight. Struck him out. A fastball over the outside corner.
Sax is livid.
That's the 7th straight man that Lynch has retired, and Steve Sax is furious about that one. He thought it was outside.
Take a look at the location. Jody's sitting outside, and the pitch even takes Jody's glove more outside, and Bob Engel rung him up.
Oh, I thought it was a good pitch. What do you think? Why? How could you? There's a smash right to Spire. Russell lines to Spire, 2 gone. And the Dodgers seem to be a beaten team right now. They've had trouble coming from behind all year.
Spire smothers this ball. Ed Lynch has the Dodgers out in front of most everything. They can't really get any idea how to time him. He puts something on, takes something off. He's had exceptional control in his stint as a Cub, and he's been a very fine pitcher.
You know, that home run by Leon Durham was his first ever at Dodger Stadium. That's hard to believe, but it's true. Here now, Enos Cabell. 2 balls, no strikes. I guess Sharon Panazzo brought that one in. Who, along with Ned Coletti, who heads the publicity department, do such a great job for the Cubs. Ned is back home in Chicago. Hey, I think he's kicking somebody out of the ballgame. Here's Tommy Lasorda coming out. I think he's kicked Sax out of the ballgame. That's Bob Engel. you can't lip read all the words of the beat.
It is a great baseball shot. Just a difference of opinion.
So Lasorda now walking off. We'll soon know whether it's Steve Sax. I think maybe Lasorda, too, has been kicked out. I will say Bob Engel is very cool and collected.
Tommy says, I thought you missed it. That's all I said to you. Bob is saying, I think that's enough, Tommy. If you want an early exit, we can accommodate you.
Get your hand down, Tommy. Now he's getting furious. Now he realizes he's been kicked out.
Hey, just stop being a gentleman, Harry.
Well, it's late. All the kids are in bed and asleep. When your team is losing, that's the time to put on a show for the fans, and there's nobody better at it than that man, Tom Lasorda. The crowd has forgotten that they're losing 7-4 now. They've just given Tommy a big, big hand. Now he's in his, oh, look at this. Talking to Sax. He said to Sax, who's going to play second base now that you got yourself kicked out of the ballgame? That's teaching him a little lesson. And Lasorda's also gone, and Sax is walking after him.
Yeah, Tommy's probably telling him that anybody can manage, but I don't have a second baseman. It's okay for me to get kicked out, but not for you.
He probably says, stop into my office on the way in the clubhouse. I want to talk more to you. Cabell takes ball. We lost track of the count. It was ball 4. That was a great scene, Artie. Great shots there. Whoever said that a picture is worth 1,000 words certainly knew what he was talking about. In that picture, you saw the 1,000 words in the picture. This is Trevino at the plate, 7-4 Cubs. I call. I thought the count on Cabell was 2-1 when that all started. Ground ball foul. Now these are the kind of notes that makes life so difficult to broadcast. We're 3 swinging single ladies vacationing in L.A. and cheering on our Cubbies. Where are you taking us after the game? Janice Lutch suits the ball. Marty out. Strike 3 to Trevino. And Lynch continues to pitch magnificently. And at the end of 8 innings, the Cubs 7, the Dodgers 4.
The Bogart Festival begins Monday, July 14th at 7 on Channel 9.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is the Chicago Tribune. A great city deserves a great newspaper. Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium. We have Vandenberg, a left-hander, coming in to pitch, and Jack Pitbull catcher coming into play second base.
It'll be interesting if the Cubs hit the ball to second. I'm sure this is the first time Fimple's played second base, maybe at any time in his major league career. And there you look at Ed Vandenberg. Vandenberg 1-4, 3.61 ERA, his 34th appearance. He's finished 18 of those with no saves, 42 and a third innings, 55 hits and 17 earned runs on 6 homers. He's walked 18, he struck out 23.
Chris Spire will lead it off, hitting .224 for the year with 4 homers and 11 RBIs. He replaced Say as a defensive move an inning or so ago. Well, my pool man from Palm Springs, Wes Anderson, is here with his grandson.
Who's watching the pool?
Maybe with the earthquake, it's no longer there. A ball and a strike on Spire. Cubs trail 4-0 going into the 6th. There's Spire lifting a high pop fly. Easy out. They rallied with 4 in the 6th with 1 out. Pinch hitter Terry Francona doubled. And after Mumphrey flied out deep, Matthews came through with a base hit. Sandberg with a double. Moreland with a 2-run double, and Durham with the run that tied up the ballgame. And then Mumphrey got the go-ahead hit in the 7th. Durham added insurance with a 2-run homer in the 8th. Dunston, 1 out of 3 in this game. Tom Werner and Debbie Grimm from Chicago are here.
And they're leaving in droves.
There's a drive in the right center field. Reggie Williams over, and he makes the catch. Nice play. 2 up, 2 down. Charlie Scholler and his wife Jill from Oak Park. He's in the Loyola Dental School in Maywood. Is here. And Jim Kupchak and Karen Janusa from Chicago. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Lynch. Low one outside. Lynch made 2 starts for the Cubs, pitched magnificently. Had no decision in either one of them. Allowed a total of only 1 earned run in 2 starts. Now he comes in for relief for the first time today. And he's the pitcher of record. Funny thing, Trout has averaged 5 innings per start all year long, and he lasted 5 innings today. So his average is constant.
And Lynch has come on to do just an outstanding job in relief. Hopefully this will be the first of many Cub victories.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Lynch. Ed Vandenberg, who used to be with the Seattle Mariners. He struck him out. All right, we go in the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs are leading 7-4. With Steve Stone, Harry Caray back at Dodger Stadium as we go into the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs are leading 7-4. The Cubs, after being beaten 11-4 in the first game of the series, won 6-3 last night. Coming from behind to do so, and had to come from behind again, and are out in front 7-4 tonight.
The Cubs are finding some happiness on the West Coast. This would put them 1 game over 500 for the trip, and a chance to come into the All-Star break with an over 500 road trip.
Here we go with Jeff Hamilton. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. He didn't mean to swing. A little tap back to Lynch. He's got it. Easy out. 1 gone.
He did that the last time up in the 6th inning, only it went to Leon Durham. This time he's retired easily by Ed Lynch.
Danny Ozark. The greatest baseball name other than Charlie Spikes.
Ozark Ike, right? You're
Right.
going right back to
How you doing?
1940. Great, Harry. Great.
You're here for the old timers game?
Yes, sir. I'll be out there coaching. I'm not going to play. I'm too young for that.
We'll look for you tomorrow.
Thanks, Harry.
Okay. See you, Steve. Danny Ozark, who managed various clubs, including the Phillies. 1 out, nobody on. Lasorda, the hitter. Cubs are leading 7-4. A ball and a strike. Ed Lynch in his 4th inning in relief. He's allowed only 1 base runner. That was after the long argument between Steve Sax first and then Tommy Lasorda second, both having been ejected from the game. When play resumed, Lynch walked Cabell. It's the only man who's reached base. High pop foul back and out of play. There's a pitch a little bit low. Line drive. Nice play by Sandberg, who leaped in the air and made a one-handed stab.
Take a look at Sandberg isolated.
Look at that.
Top of his leap, and he hauls it down.
Perfect timing. So 2 gone. And here is Reggie Williams, a good-looking center fielder. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. There's a pitch a little bit inside. A ball and a strike. Fly ball. Short left. Dunston there. Cubs win. Reggie Williams popped to Dunston. Look where he ran for that ball. And Jody Davis and Ed Lynch having a pleasant conversation. What a fine job. He pitched 4 innings, allowed only 1 base runner, that a 2-out walk in the 8th. And by that time, he had a good lead of 7-4. And the Cubs now are ahead in the series 2 games to 1 with the finale as they go for 3 out of 4 tomorrow afternoon. Remember, the leadoff man was Steve at 3:45 Chicago time tomorrow. We'll be back with the totals and highlights now in a moment. With Steve Stone, I'm Harry Caray. We're at Dodger Stadium. Usually, about this time at the stroke of midnight, sometimes it's the Cubs who turn into pumpkins. But I'm happy to report to you tonight, it's the Dodgers who became the pumpkins as the Cubs came from behind and beat them 7-4. And this was really a satisfying win.
Well, the Cubs battled back tonight. Pena had it all his way for 5 innings. He fell apart in the 6th, and the Cubs put some runs on the board, and Ed Lynch came in and did a spectacular job, Harry. He looks like a good one.
Boy, 4 innings, he allowed only 1 base runner, and I think the distraction of the argument's the only reason he walked Cabell. So, you know, there's so many heroes here tonight, but I think it just goes to show you, if you just hang in there and keep swinging the bat, eventually one's going to find a hole. It looked like Mumphrey just couldn't get a base hit. Every time up, he'd stroke the ball. He'd blast it right at somebody, or somebody make a great play. And finally, he came up with a score tied and drilled the line drive in the left field as much as to say, well, let's see you catch that one.
And Gary Matthews continued his good hitting. Sean Dunston scored on that single. It's a good thing Dunson was on the bases because it was hit right at the left fielder, Harry. But all's well that ends well. And now the Cubs are over 500 on this road trip. A good sight.
All right, the final game of the road trip and of the series tomorrow. They have a chance to make it 3 out of 4. So go home and get a good night's rest. All righty. Here are the totals quickly. 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Chicago Cubs. The winner is Ed Lynch. He now has won 1 and lost none. The game-winning RBI is Jerry Mumphrey, and it was his first game winner of the year. For the Cubs, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. The loser is Tom Niedenfuer. He now has won 5 and lost 4. Chicago and Budweiser, my town and my beer. Remember tomorrow now at 3:45 Chicago time with the leadoff man, and then baseball for the final game before the All-Star break. With Steve Stone, I'm Harry Caray. As you can tell, there are a world of fans here in Los Angeles. We wish you all a very pleasant good evening, or good morning, as the case might be. The happy news is the Cubs defeated the Dodgers again 7-4. This Bud's for you. So long, everybody. Participating advertisers in Cubs baseball were Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just the light. Your Chicagoland, Northern Indiana.